Welcome to our Creators X series in collaboration with Vultr, where we show you the real humans building our future. Excited to have a new guest, Joseph, on the show. Thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing the fashion. How you doing today?
Doing fantastic. You know, you have to do it like it's your birthday.
Yeah, well, and speaking of, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Are you always on camera on your birthday?
No, it's first time. So I'll accept it. Gift number 100.
There we go, baby. Well, no, seriously, appreciate you taking the time, especially on your birthday, especially on a busy week. You are Paris-based.
Yes.
What made it so important for you to come out here and join us this week?
Oh, wow. You know, actually, we had such a fabulous time together in Paris at another event, right? At the Louvre. We did a 7-day sprint at the Louvre in Paris.
Amazing.
Vultr was there, and we were just getting to know each other at that time. It was a wonderful romance, lots of champagne, and we did the town red.
I mean, you had me at champagne. Champagne in Paris, I can't think of a better way to break bread and kick off a partnership. That is super fun.
Exactly. So I've got to know Kevin and other members of the team, and now we have a partnership.
Yeah, well, you know, there's an interesting common theme across everyone I've had the privilege of talking to on behalf of Vultr. Everybody loves the people. Obviously, the product and the technology are outstanding. We already know that. But I think what's remarkable is how much people highlight how fun the team is. And you're obviously representative of that. Mm-hmm. We have something in common. We both like space.
Yes.
Very cool week for us. How are you feeling about the Artemis mission?
I am so excited. And we have so much coming up on the topic of space. You know, one of the partnerships that we just closed here with us is with the University of California, and they have a wonderful, magnificent space program.
Yeah.
So there's a conference coming up toward the end of the year on Space Day. So we'll be working to be one of the producers of that conference and really bringing a builder presence to that, to make it an unconference in this case.
Yeah.
And as you know, compute rules the day, so you all are coming too.
Hey-o, I hope so. No, you used to work in space. You used to work at Goddard, correct?
Yeah, Goddard Space Flight Center, NASA, Satellite Communications and Robotics. Feels like ages ago, but that was my beginning. And the space program, the mentor I had at the time, Dr. Gerald Soffin, was the lead scientist for the Viking mission to Mars. And Mars was the thing that really excited me. Like, we have to go to the red planet. And I am still holding on to that. So I'm not just rooting for Elon, but I want to join and help him get there in this case, right? I know we're doing the moon first, so Artemis.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, but I do want them both. And we want the rest of the solar system too, for that matter.
I mean, we had Oppie paving the way for us many years ago, RIP little buddy.
Yes.
It is, space, one of the things I love about space is the way that it unites us. It doesn't really matter what you look like or where you come from. I think many of us looked up in the sky the last 10 days and just with a little sense of awe.
Yes.
And it's pretty spectacular. What are some of the parallels between your work in spaceflight and robotics and satellites and the work that you do now?
You know, it's a coming home, I would say.
Ooh, okay.
You know, when I was there, my single ambition was to build cyborgs and things like this, right? You know, of course, the technology was very far off. I ended up taking an interesting detour. I took a sabbatical to go live in Japan. And in Japan, I just had a totally different experience. Ended up getting into finance, but tech, media, and telecom, so still deep tech. And now I get to relive this dream again of accelerating artificial intelligence and in a new way. And then now we have the tools to really look at some interesting hybrids. So the hybrid between biology, real, and artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Plant life. I know you've seen some of the new type of computation. You can literally take mushrooms and make them compute, DNA and make it compute. There are wonderful mashups in this world that are coming about now. They all have different advantages. And so I'm really excited about the future of frontier technologies and how compute and AI is going to unlock both themselves and a lot more.
Yes, I love that. I love that you brought up the computational mushrooms. We are truly in a wild realm. I've actually been at the NASA food lab where they start to play with some of this stuff and experiment with it. And we are just at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what's going to be serving us, that being very sustainable potentially as we think about power constraints and a lot of different things in that category. If you were to wave a magic wand and we could Jetson style shoot into the future, what world problem are you looking forward to this technology solving most?
At the end of the day, still, technology is great, but humans are going to solve problems. Okay?
Yeah, amen.
And within there is the choice. Because we have a choice where we can create a planet and a civilization of complete abundance, where human intelligence, creativity, and freedom are unparalleled to anything ever in history with these technologies, where we're looking at, again, you used to have an ox to farm. Now we have machines, right? So labor and muscles were automated. Now intelligence is that. And some people are afraid, and it could be a dystopian future if we chose to go down a certain path.
Yeah.
But we also have equal opportunity to go down a path where we really unchain our species. And we can truly look toward the stars and other planets, and we'll go there. Technological advancement is going to accelerate at an exponential on top of exponential rate. We'll reach the end here.
Yeah.
So what becomes more important than now is our story, our narrative. Our narrative as individuals, our narrative as a country, our narrative as a civilization, as a species, and so on and so forth. And I personally am very committed to pushing that narrative and that possibility and reminding all of us, because I think the spark of that is in all of us for it. We just sometimes need to be reminded. And there's enough of us that are in line with that, that we can make that the reality, the majority reality.
First of all, that was inspiring. Thank you for that.
Thank you for the question. The question was inspiring.
Cheers. How are you balancing technology and off-screen time in your personal life?
Interesting.
How do you make sure you have enough champagne? Let's put it that way.
You know, and the question, at the end of the day, the question is, what is life for? And and at least there's always challenge. Challenge has a purpose, and especially in the case where you embrace it, you accept it as part of existence.
Yeah.
Because it can spur growth, right? It'll make you look at yourself in ways that maybe you didn't. And therein, there's a gift in it. The present is a gift, right? One must remember that regardless.
Oh my gosh.
The universe is a university, and each one of these things is part of our learning curriculum. See, the universe already had the AI thing down. It already gives us our personalized learning journey. And we have to accept it as that. So it'll put all things in front of us that we need to solve, we need to grow. It'll be there, and until we do it, it'll keep sending you back to that class, right?
Yep. Oh gosh, don't we know that?
Exactly. So, one has to appreciate the moment, and I think that's the point. Like, I enjoy putting in the type of hours that I put in, but I think the balance for me is I appreciate the moment, like this moment.
Yeah.
Right? Meeting all of you, talking with you, it's not just a means to an end. One has to learn to appreciate each time second, because we don't get those back. And that's been my antidote for that. So whatever it is I'm doing, even if it's something that's uncomfortable, and I start my day with like an ice shower, right? Just so
you're one of those.
Yes.
You're hardcore.
Just to get it, I just know what's coming. So I like antidote myself a little bit.
No, I feel that.
And just appreciate each moment, like regardless. And, regardless of the end, I didn't waste the time. So that's the way I think about it. So I'm always sipping champagne.
Yes,
I'm
baby.
always sipping champagne.
Joseph, I love that. Next time we're going to, I was actually thinking if we should have a cocktail since you're the final segment of the day. Next time we're doing champagne.
Yes.
All right, look, this is fun. If Vultr was a style of champagne or a brand of champagne, what champagne would they be?
I'll say this because I don't know if it's champagne, but I'm about to say one of the Louis.
Ooh, yeah.
One of the Louis, at least as a pair.
Yes.
With one of the Louis.
Oh, I like that. And what makes you say that?
We're building something new.
Yeah.
We're building something highly innovative, and we're just at the beginning of it, and it's premium. And when you take that sip, you know you sipped something real.
And you know you want another sip.
Exactly. And you know you didn't care about the price.
Hey, amen. You know what? On that note, Joseph, this has been absolutely perfect. That is a champagne cheers on a fantastic conversation. Truly, thank you. I've enjoyed this a lot.
Agreed. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. And I hope all of you are sipping bubbles wherever you might be on this beautiful rock. We're here with Creators X for Vultr. My name's Savannah Peterson. Thanks for coming to learn with us.